Hello everybody, welcome back to another video for the day. Now we're going back into r/neckbeardstories, you know, because everybody seems to like those storytime videos, and thank you for coming together, everybody. Alrighty, let's go. Our first story comes to us from username Wyatt Kelly. Comic book guy loses it on a neckbeard, and it's hilarious. This happened yesterday, and I'm still just relishing it. So, there's a comic book shop in my town that I go to infrequently. It's very clean, well-stocked, runs well, and the staff is versed in anything you might want. The latest Spider-Man? Got it. An independent thespian dungeon crawler comic? Yep, got that. A decent selection of manga and imports. I've been told it's good. I go there to pursue their graphic novels and collected editions, as I'm old and grumpy and don't have the money to buy single issues for the most part. Anything you want, the owner will order on the spot and contact promptly when it's available. Really good guy and really good shop. Anyway, I had the day off, so I was wandering the downtown and ducked in to see if anything of interest came up. I get greeted by the store's dogs. I give them some belly rubbings and then set off into the stocks, looking for some collected X-Men comics. While I'm there, I notice this odor, like old cheese and gym stocks. I sniff my own pits trying to see if it's me, and then actually pull a couple of books off the shelves to see if any of them are rotting. Nope, nothing so benign. Instead, I catch a glance of this wondrous example of masculinity. He's rotund, he's wrapped in a trench coat, and he has no neck. It's like someone had just plopped a hairy bowling ball on a pair of shoulders. I try not to stare, as he does actually have a neckbeard and a broad-brimmed hat. He looked like a goth Amish. He's ignoring me, so I do the same. Just around that time, I hear the shop dogs go skittering across the wooden floor to greet the next customer. A lady voice coos, and then happy pants as the dogs accept their customer bribe. I find a collection of Will Eisner Spirit comics, check the price, and then head up towards the counter. I glance over at the young lady who's playing with the dogs, and I gotta admit she's cute. Short, blonde, wearing striped leggings and a denim jacket covered in pins. She looks up at me, I give her a casual wave and go about my business. She's at most half my age, and I try my best not to be creepy. She gets up from the dogs and goes to the counter before me, not butting in line. I was still making my way, and asks the owner if her manga had come in yet. I check out some stuff in the display case, Muppet Show tumblers, yay, and just flipped through my new book. Now, this is where the story just takes a turn that I won't ever forget. The owner pulls out the old box and places two books on the counter. Before I know it, I nearly get bowled over by Amishbeard, who's come lumbering up from the stacks like he'd heard the siren call of his people. Milady, I see you love manga too. He stands far too close for this poor woman, and I'm trying not to gawk. I've read the stories here a lot, been amused by them, but not once in my life have I ever actually heard someone called Milady outside of Ren Fair. Yeah, I really like Kakaguri. I think that's what it's called, and apparently there's an ongoing series called Kakaguri Vampire Gambler. I had to look this up when I got home, and Amishbeard just snorts derisively. Oh, that's okay, I suppose, but a lady of your caliber shouldn't read something so violent. Might I suggest I guide you back to the stacks so I might show you wondrous treasures, such that you've never seen before. He's leering at this young woman, and the owner and I share a glance of, are you freaking kidding me? The woman looks very uncomfortable and shakes her head. No, I'll just pay for these, and Amishbeard lays his hand on the books and actually takes them from the counter. For shame! I promise you, don't waste your money on these. Come, I'll show you something that you'll absolutely... He's reaching for the lady's retracting arm when the store is cut through like lightning. Quit it! Amishbeard looks up, startled as the owner growls at him. Leave her alone. You're bothering her. Amishbeard looks shocked and rears up to his full height. He's a bit taller than I am at 5'10" and nearly half as wide, or so he does look a little intimidating. I put down my book and cross my arms, just witnessing this. The poor girl takes a step back and the dogs are looking perplexed. Master is unhappy. Why is Master unhappy? Who made Master unhappy? We must slobber on them. Amishbeard sneers at the owner. This doesn't concern you. My shop, my customers, my rules. Yeah, it does. I spend hundreds of dollars. Oh, shut up, you stupid bud pie hole. The owner is building up a head of steam, and I watch in fascination at a full-blown venting. You come in here twice a week, spend 3 hours stinking up the joint, and if I'm lucky, you'll spend $10 on some mainstream manga that even Naruto fans would find dumb. You harass the other customers, and now you're this close to manhandling an actual good customer. Get out of my shop, you're banned. Amishbeard looks around for support, and there's only me, the silent witness. I shake my head. Don't look at me, Sparky, you're being a butt. Amishbeard deflates, flaps his arms, and storms out, the dogs barking at his heels, well, as close as these two confused hounds can bark. The room returns to normal, just the wisps of BO to tell of this passing. Nothing else to tell you, really. Lady got a discount, I bought a comic, and went for a delicious sandwich. Wish I could say I ran into Amishbeard, but that would have just been too perfect. I gotta say, props to the owner for actually taking care of everything, because honestly, this could have gotten a lot worse, and also, I am so happy you have dogs in your store. Only other time I've actually had that kind of experience where there's dogs in the store is some place called Broomtail in Wilmington, North Carolina. Our next story comes to us from username Sunflower Spot. Neckbeard tries to woo Milady by playing her in Street Fighter. Not a personal story, but one I heard secondhand from a friend. All names have been changed to protect involved parties to set the stage, the players. Kit, friend, tall, redhead, gorgeous, amazing rock climber, but also super nerdy and a whiz at old arcade-style video games, is a regular congoer and just in general an all-around cool gal. Prime Neckbeard bait. Greasy McBeardson, GB for short, our neckbeard of the day. The scene? MagFest 2016. Hey, that's the first one I went to. Kit is a regular at most cons within a decent distance of our hometown on the East Coast. She, being super into gaming, was logging some hours at the game room at MagFest. She found a Street Fighter machine and started playing. Not long after, our greasy star approaches after apparently creepily watching her play and wreck, and asks if she wouldn't mind going a few rounds. Of course, he'd go easy on her, Milady. Her, being the laid-back person she is, shrugs and says, whatever dude, knock yourself out. Sure enough, she crushes him in under a minute. Cue excuses. Well, I presume he stuttered. I was just going easy on you so you wouldn't feel bad. Says he wants to play another round. Kit obliges. Cue another embarrassing loss. Wow, I mean, I really haven't played for a while. Just gotta get back into the swing of things. Another round, another crushing defeat. There must be something wrong with this machine. GB is getting flustered at this point. He's starting to sweat. Another round, loses again. Rinse and repeat. Things continue like this for quite some time. Him making up excuses the whole way. Kit just stoically taking this guy down. Not once does he acknowledge that she is genuinely better than him. Just greases up the joystick and sweats and stutters. After round 10 or so rounds of humiliation, there's quite a crowd built up. They finish another round. Guess who won? Not GB. When GB turns suddenly to Kit and the following exchange ensued. So, can I get your number? Yeah, you can have a digit for every round you won. Cue mic drop and Kit walking away dramatically while GB stutters. Nice. Rip, Greasy McBeardson. You know, I think I actually know the exact game they were talking about. The arcade room at MagFest is a 24/7 kind of setup for the whole event. Basically, if you're staying in the room in the actual event itself, it's at the Gaylord in the National Harbor. You can go down there any time of the day or night, and the game room will be open. Hopefully I can meet a couple of people that go to MagFest that watch my videos, you know, if everything's not all plaguish and stuff. Our next story comes to us from username Solemn Brum. Neckbeard calls me a stupid female and tries to snatch my Nintendo Switch. Hello everyone, just a little background info before I start this story. First of all, English is not my first language, so forgive me if any dumb spelling mistakes. I'm a 16-year-old girl, about 165 centimeters, 5'9" if my calculations are correct, and I'm kinda beefy. I do competitive boxing. Cool. This is kind of a long one. The story is a few months old, can't remember the exact date, and I'm writing it down just now because I'm quarantined and don't have a lot to do. Okay, so on to the story. So, since I live in a pretty small city, my mom lets me kinda roam around for a couple of hours during the weekend after lunch to meet my friends, and we play a bit of D&D. I usually take the bus to go to a bar called Glitch, where people meet up and play board games and stuff like that. I was waiting for the bus, and I took my beloved Switch with me, because I had recently bought 2 new games, Shantae and Doom 64. As I was sitting on the bench, chilling and booting my console up, this big chonk walks up to me. He looked well over 18. He was a little taller than me. If I had to guess, I'd say he was an inch taller. Long black hair tied in a ponytail, no fedora though, a shirt from that one gambling anime kakegurui, I think. I know the protagonist, but I've never seen it, and cargo shorts. He sat right next to me, and oh boy, he had one of the weirdest smells I've ever experienced. The closest thing I can describe it as is a mix of garlic, BO, rubbing alcohol, and vanilla. Since I didn't want to be rude or anything, I said hi and went straight back to Doom. He leaned in and watched me play for a bit. I hate it when people do that, it makes me very uncomfortable, and said, "Oh, that's French, I can't do that." That roughly translates to, "Oh, what a pleasure seeking one of your sex partaking in such an honorable activity." Again, didn't want to be rude, so I just replies, "Grazie, that's more French and I can't say that. Thanks, but I was barely able to finish the tutorial, lol. It's not that I'm not allowed to say it, I just don't know how to pronounce it right." What happened next was pretty unexpected. He looked me straight in the eyes and said, "Oh lady, I don't expect you to be good or anything. Stupid females like you aren't capable of understanding the spirit of such games. Allow a knight like me to finish what you have started." And then he tried to grab my wrist and snatch my Switch. At that point, I was extremely uncomfortable, so I freed myself from this greasy touch, packed my Switch, and ran off towards my house. I do recognize it was not a very pro-gamer move, but to my defense, he wasn't very fast. I got home safe. He didn't follow me because I ran like a maniac. The day I opted for staying at home, I told my friends I had a creepy encounter, and they understood. To this day, I have never seen this guy again. I'm perfectly okay with that too. It was an interesting experience for sure, and I hope it's the last Neckbeard experience I ever have. Thanks for your attention, and stay home, my dudes and dudettes. Peace. I'm so glad you don't have to deal with that creep anymore, and also, don't try to steal somebody's game console just because they're a woman. Our next story comes from us from username who deleted his account. Alright. Kyle's evolution. Well, if being named Kyle wasn't already big enough of an issue, here we go. Kyle was both a neckbeard and a weeaboo. He was tall at 6'4", about 250 pounds overweight. He had the traditional neckbeard scruff, and yes, he fedoraed. He was also a weeaboo. He was the president of his high school's Japanese club, owned a bokken, and would play a ton of Japanese games. I knew Kyle pretty well. He and I hung out a lot. He never had too many friends, and I was the one hanging out with him almost every day. Kyle had all sorts of cringeworthy moments. He would practice martial art movements in the house, the Naruto kind. He loved to go on about the beauty of Japan and how he wished he were all more Japanese. He practically stalked this one Asian girl claiming true love. He would make misogynistic posts on Facebook about how dating girls is like paying someone except with flowers and candy instead of money, or how all girls are barches. I'm quoting here. Kyle didn't have very many close friends. He was shy yet argumentative, loud yet unconfident. He somehow managed to mangle up every social interaction. Kyle was never wrong. No matter what you were arguing, you were incorrect. He got bullied a lot because of his lack of tact. Kyle had a pretty bad family situation. His mom and dad were divorced, and when he decided to live with his dad 400 miles away, his mom didn't speak to him for 6 months. He was only 15. Kyle's family was traditional Roman Catholic, and they expected him to be that as well. He tried very hard, but was atheist to the core. I learned from him much later on that he almost offed himself many times because of this. He felt alone, unaccepted by his family and peers. There were very few people close to him, me being one of them. Kyle did eventually get better. He learned how to dress and treat women correctly. He made friends. He became a cameraman in LA. He isn't a weeb anymore, and a lot of people say he should be a male model. He has a nice girlfriend, friends, and takes showers daily. His beard even looks well groomed now. I never doubted this would happen. Of course, I knew Kyle would be successful. Why do you ask? Because he really did care about people. He just didn't know how to show it. He just needed the right feedback and something that made him happy. I'm Kyle's little half-sister, by the way. When I moved with his dad and my mom 400 miles away, he came with us because he wanted to make sure I was okay living in a new place. He has always been very protective of me. When I was very little, this dog came after me, trying to attack me. I was scared and could have been hurt, but Kyle appeared out of nowhere, picked me up, and he ran until we were safe. He risked himself to keep me safe. We would spend every day together, him playing a video game and me sitting on the couch next to him. I was never lonely because he was there. My parents would yell at us and we'd go hide together. He would drive me to school, and we'd sing Queen at the tops of our lungs. I love my brother. He's the best person in my life. He's the only one who has ever given me any sympathy and truly helped me understand that there are good people in the world. We are the best of friends. So don't judge Neckbeard immediately when you meet them. They're still people too, and they want acceptance, just like us. They go through pain just like us. Underneath the fedora and past the Dorito breath, you might just find one of the best people in your life. You know, I gotta say, these wholesome stories stories are very few to come by, but when I do come by them, I really do appreciate them. I honestly, truly do hope you and your brother have an amazing friendship, and I wish the best for both of you. And I gotta say, the whole don't judge a neckbeard by the cover, yeah, so they might have some weird habits, but underneath, you might honestly find a genuine person. I wish the best for both of you guys. And now with that is going to have to be it with the video. If you would like to be amazing and supportive for the channel, slam the like button, comment down below what you liked about the video, and if you have not already, subscribe to the channel. I'll be sure to see you guys in the next one. Thank you so much for watching, and bye-bye.